Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Rogue Core video. Today we finally have another full-blown trailer for Rogue Core that we finally just got released with the III initiative that just got aired. And we finally get to see some real, true gameplay for Rogue Core. We get to see the classes in action, we get to see a lot of weapons in action, we get to see some combat, some all kinds of stuff going on, and you're going to see it all in the background gameplay. Although it was a relatively short trailer, it was only about a minute and a half, we still got a lot of information as well as a time frame for a potential closed alpha that we might actually be able to experience. So we get to actually play Rogue Core a lot sooner than expected. And there was a lot of stuff that happened in this particular trailer, and I'm not going to go through everything. I'm going to probably do a full breakdown a little bit later just because I kind of want to get my full thoughts showcased in a much more timely manner, and this is basically just an initial reaction, and I do kind of want to highlight some of the stuff that I had seen when I had initially seen the trailer. So first and foremost, the fact that this is still just alpha footage or alpha concepts and the kind of stuff that we are getting is still looking this polished and good is a really good sign for the things to come for Rogue Core, and I'm very excited to see what happens for it. We got to see a lot more different gameplays for various different weapons, various different classes. We got to see some abilities actually functioning. We got to see some more actual different weaponry. We got to see some more things that we hadn't seen before. We got to see a lot more UI. We got to see a lot more of how some of the weapon or upgrade choosings are going to go when you actually go through a run. And just overall, it looks like they have put a lot of time and effort into it, which obviously they have because they've been focusing pretty much solely on Rogue Core ever since Season 5 came out. And just to mention a couple of things that really stuck out to me during the entire trailer was this really does to me seem like it is kind of almost feeling like a sequel to DeepRockGalactic in a way, not even necessarily feeling like a spin-off title anymore. It seems like just what we're getting and what we're seeing from this kind of stuff is just a true definitive improvement to what we have seen from normal Deep Rock. Now, this could be completely different. It could be just the way that I'm seeing it play out, but just the stuff that I'm seeing, the way that the gameplay looks, the way that the abilities are shaping up, the different weapons that we have access to, it just looks like we are getting a lot more with this than we are currently with normal DRG, which is a exciting thing, especially with kind of just how barren and dry Deep Rock kind of is right now. I know there's still a lot of stuff to do, but as of right now, there's just not a whole lot to go with. Now, talking about a couple of the things specifically that stood out to me were the weapon choices and the weapon options that we saw. We saw a mix of weapons that we had seen before, like things like the GK2, the Stubby, the Warthog. We saw a couple of things, but then we also saw a couple of new weapons that we hadn't seen before. Things like the electro pistol that they were using for a little bit. There was like a charged sort of railgun pistol that we saw. And there was a couple other things that we had seen. So I definitely do like the way that we are getting new weapons and new weapon designs compared to what we have seen from normal Deep Rock. And also we got to see a lot more of the abilities in action. I think specifically we really got to see more of the Guardian's abilities in this particular trailer, because we did see the Slicer do his slice, which we had kind of seen before, but for the Guardian, we actually got to see a little bit more of his particular kit style. We got to see the sort of displacement, like shockwave ability that I'm assuming that's the Guardian's ability, that he's able to basically push people out. And then we also saw, I'm assuming this is the sort of force push that he's able to do, which they kind of showcased in the April Fool's Day trailer, or whatever you want to call it, where he kind of has the ability to just sort of knock people back with a concentrated push. And seeing that, I think, was really, really cool. We got to actually see some more of the class abilities in action, the weapons, as well as we got to see plenty of more enemies. We pretty much saw all the enemies that we had seen before when they did their initial Rogue Core reveal. Basically just nothing but the core stone crawlers, the big ones, the tall ones. I think they were called the edge stalkers, if I remember correctly. And they all just look great. Everything about this looks great. It looks very much just on theme for the normal Deep Rock universe and environment. And ultimately, I am very satisfied and very pleased with what I saw. I know we didn't really get a whole lot. Again, this was just a very brief sort of teaser trailer. And if anything, I think the main purpose of this particular trailer was just to actually give us a release date for the closed alpha, which we don't know when exactly it's going to happen. I'm assuming the devs are going to actually keep us updated as to when that's going to happen. Just the fact that we actually have that information coming out now, and the fact that we actually have a relatively close time frame to where we're going to be able to actually get our hands on this is phenomenal. One thing that kind of concerned me going back to the class-based things, and I'm not quite sure if this is tied in with the April Fool's Day trailer, because in this trailer, as well as the April Fool's Day thing where they showcased all the classes' abilities, we really didn't see much of the Gorgon, or at least nothing that looked like the Gorgon. So I'm wondering if maybe they just completely ditched the Gorgon as a playable class and maybe are just saving it for something different, or if they just decided not to showcase it and they just want to keep it close to their chest. Because as of right now, we've only seen 4 of the classes in action, and I know that when they had initially showcased all the stuff for Rogue Core, they had 5 classes, and I had initially liked that idea because having multiple classes, even in a 4-player game, still gives you the ability to customize and have some interesting combinations, because the fact that, especially in this particular game, your builds and your setups are more put together during the actual runs kind of makes the situation a little bit better, and that actually gives you a little bit more wiggle room to actually have various different classes, even more so than the number of player slots. So I do personally hope that they keep the Gorgon. Maybe they just haven't showcased it. Maybe they just didn't want to reveal it just yet. They want to play that one very close to their chest. So we'll see what happens. Or they may have showcased it here and I just didn't notice because I wasn't sure exactly what I was looking for. Again, I haven't really super duper dug into the trailer. I was planning on doing that a little bit later and doing a full breakdown probably sometime next week. I kind of just wanted to very briefly get my thoughts on this particular trailer as well as the overall position of Rogue Core and say that I am very much satisfied and happy with what I saw. I am significantly more excited for this game than I was in the past. I've always been excited for it, but now that we actually get to see stuff for it, now that we actually have a time frame for where we can actually experience it and see how it plays out, that is going to be phenomenal. And I think this also, at least to me, really does help to be a little bit more understanding of Ghost Ship's stance towards working on Rogue Core and normal DeepRock at the same time. I know people are upset that we haven't really gotten a whole lot of content for normal DRG recently, and I completely get that. I myself am in that same boat. I really do feel like we haven't really gotten a whole lot of content yet. But seeing what they have actually been working on for Rogue Core and seeing how much they're cooking with it really, to me, justifies what has been going on with normal DRG recently, the fact that we haven't really been getting much outside of the normal seasonal events. And this, to me, just shows that Ghost Ship does know what they're doing in terms of dividing up the team, making sure that they have their priorities set, because if the team was split and we had half the team working on Rogue Core, half the team working on Season 6, it would be even longer time until Season 6 came out, and it would be even longer until Rogue Core came out, and I'm sure that we wouldn't have liked either one of them if the entire team wasn't working on it. So those are just the kind of things you have to think about. But in any event, I just want to get my initial thoughts because I had just seen this trailer, and also the whole III initiative thing that this debuted on was really good. So if you didn't get a chance to check that out, check it out. There was a lot of really cool stuff. There was some V-Rising stuff, some Enshrouded stuff. So go check that out if you really want to. And again, I'll probably have a full trailer breakdown sometime later next week. So stay tuned for that. And as always, hope you guys found this video informative and entertaining. If you did, please be sure to let me know by hitting that like button and consider becoming a member and subscribing today, as it really helps me out a lot. Rocket Stone Minders, I will see you in the next video.